fascination of life, the fascination of gaze, is the unknown result, not the known result.
Hello everyone and welcome back to part 3.5 where we finally are gonna finish the roads. So let's try one more time. Yes, exactly, now you see, and I don't know why it doesn't, you can see how it's like only chooses this one every time. A few very chaotic elements in this right now. Alright, so I think what I want to do before we go any further is to improve our interface. So we can see, you can see those lanes, but we also want intersections, right? I wonder if this will even work. Let's see. Nice. It looks like it should work. I just forgot to add 16. So this one. We see tab 0 intersections, right? Oh, you see, here's the issue. It keeps adding the same one to the, and I believe that's why there are some issues popping up now. Okay, that's really nice that we can already see that, right? I've been looking around a little bit, and one of the things that I think we could have, which is actually, look here, so we get the DSI, so we got, instead we want a intersection points count, let's just say so. Starts by being -1, and then this is what we are going to go over here to, and then we're gonna say like so, okay? And that's what this means is that if we save this as a value here, I have a feeling that this might be the correct. Exactly. See? And so why this is this way, it's kind of hard to say. Alright, but what we're going to do in here then is we're going to say clear, right? And that means that we are also going to set this to -1, back to -1 again. So let's try and see one more time. You're going to see the yeah? Oops. See, this was the first intersection that it has, right? And then it just kind of forgets about it. And so that's why it's really important when we go in here, is that else if is larger than 0. Now we are in a position where if we're no longer intersecting with anything, but we are kind of still counting. And so actually instead of this, we're actually going to say this, and down here as well. So if it is above, exactly, yes. And then we're gonna say, and we're gonna clear it. See, we're gonna run these two commands. Yeah. At some point, I feel like I wanna do some things in order for them to not be running at all step events, you know. But see, now we have fixed this. Essentially, it looks pretty good. And so we can see what happens if we're trying to collide now with multiple issues. And I can start to see some issues popping up here, right? And that's because we haven't made a very good case for when it is above 1, right? And let's actually have one more look here. So let's see if we can see there being 1 or more collisions in intersections. So here you can see there's 1 intersection, right? So now we got 1, -1, 1. I dropped my phone, very nice. And we got 1, but we got 2 here. Isn't that awesome? So now you can see it keeps working as long as there's only 1 intersection. But as soon as there's going to be 2 intersections, it starts bugging out. And that's fine, because that's what we're going to address now. So we're going to say, so we are in a state where we know for a fact that we are in an intersection. So we can actually just say else if There we go. So now we're going to say else if it is greater than 1, right? So we want this, instead of this being a single value, we want these two to be, my question to myself is if I want them to be an array of values each, so like we have one filled with x values and one filled with y values, or we want them to be like a pair, you know, like a pair of coordinates. And we could basically do either way. This way might be the fastest solution. So this might be the fastest solution. And that, you know what, let's try and do this. So intersection points, and we're gonna address them as arrays from now on. Alright? And so now we're gonna come in here, we see, oh, basically what we do is we say like so. And then we're gonna go in here, I think it is, intersection point, yes, exactly. If it's intersection. See, this is where we have to kind of repeat our code a little bit. And so basically what's gonna happen here is you say else. And it's also important that we remember, yeah, so we need this, right? Okay, but let's just say it like this. So we're gonna do it like this, array length, and so. And so basically what we're doing now is the same thing, but instead we are making intersection points for each single intersection point. So we're making a, let's see if this even works. I'm just curious. Ah yes, I forgot to change in the draw event. Yeah, okay, this is just a little bit of an extra helping. So this is, let's see if this works. And let's go here so we can see this. Okay, well, something is happening, right? I'm kind of surprised by this right now. But I believe, yes, okay, see, here we go. So we're gonna create one, right? But this is, yeah, so here we see the issue, right? So this is just addressed as some negative value, so some non-existing value basically. And that should solve at least some of our issues. Let's try again. See, that's beautiful. And now I can see, unlucky. But we have one here, right? Intersection. I believe it is the way we are putting the intersection points within. Yes, exactly. It's because we actually never put them in. So that's something we have to do now. And that's actually what brings us back to the script that we wanted to do in the beginning. So basically we're gonna copy paste this. Later on I will expand or grow our solution to be prettier, but I'm just gonna make it for now a copy paste solution with a for loop. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do the same kind of thing that we did here, right? So this is gonna be the exact same for loop. The only thing I'm concerned about is that at some point I'm gonna like pressure my my CPU or my memory a little too hard. But so far I believe everything's gonna be okay. We just replace the 0 with an I and these two zeros with an I as well. And that should at least do something. Let's see. So now we got this. This looks good. Okay, well, as you can see here, it doesn't bug out in the same way. It bugs out in a different way. Actually, what we can do here is actually just say, so how do we move on from this? This seems to be the fastest solution. Actually, let's set color to, if there's multiple intersections, we'll set it to yellow. Just so we can differentiate. I think that's a good idea. So now we got the red, right? But now it's yellow, yeah. So at least we can recognize it as being there is multiple. Another thing I think I would like to do is that I want it to be ordered. What the am I even writing here? That doesn't even make any sense. I want to compare these two with each other. I just wonder what it's going to say, even if it's going to be displayed, you know. So we can do ds list size, right? See here 0. You see, here is the problem. I took a little break, tried to do some research, and it seems that some of the issues come within this thing right here. And I think the best solution that I have found was to try and make this into a variable itself. So vod collision roads, right? This is plural, and then we kind of ignore this one for a second. So instead of putting them in here, because the issue is that we keep putting in the same roads again and again and again. That's not what we want, right? So we'll try this and we'll try this here. There's also another solution, which would be to simply load it in and then clear it out again using this clear function. But I would like to try to see what happens now when I do this. The worst case, we're going to learn something, right? And look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. That was the solution all along. And now I can do 3-4 billion intersections. Now comes the point of actually implementing that when you create the road. So we're going to, of course, do something similar that we've already done, which is to loop and to basically say, okay, when there's one, we do something specific, and when there is more than one, then we iterate. So basically what we can do here is we can say, if intersection is equal to 1. Okay, so we're just gonna grab all of this and put this in here. Okay, so we're gonna go down here and say else if is larger than 1. And then we can, for example, copy this. But what we can do first is, of course, add in the iteration. And the condition in this case will then be we will have the I here and the I here. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to copy this and we'll put it in here. Yes, we'll delete this one, of course. Does not belong here anymore. So what we can try and do, this is a little bit of an experiment. What we could try to do is we could say something like this, right? Like just copy pasting all of it in and seeing how bad it's gonna go, because we're getting complicated at this point. So this is fine. This is fine too. Okay, so it is possible to do this. Doesn't work exactly yet, but that's okay. So let's see here. You see here the collision road is being defined as something that is not should be defined as. So this here should actually be the collision roads of I. Yes, exactly. Yeah, okay, awesome. This needs to be put outside of the for loop. Let's try one more time, see if we're gonna get anywhere with this. Yeah, so you can clearly see something going on here, right? That's awesome. We're really getting somewhere now. I'm really excited about this now. And so the issue that we are having now is that we are, okay, let's try and count again. So we're gonna say we have one road, two roads, right? And now we're gonna make it this one road here. So that means we are essentially gonna split both of these roads into 2 each. And so we're gonna have 4, and then we're gonna have 3 segments here. And that should be 7 roads. And that is indeed 7 roads. So that's really cool. But this part can only be for when there's exactly 1. And then we have to also change that up. Like so. And so we want that for every single of the intersection points. And so I think this is going to result in some sort of error. So we can just, so first of all, yes, okay. So let's just actually go one step back here. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to remove this one. No, we're going to remove both of these. We're going to say here, we're going to do like this. And then we're going to take these 2 as well. So I want this to be the very bottom of the function. That should work. We want to create lanes for the new road, right? So if it is one specific road, then we can specifically do this, right? Actually also this part as well. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, so if we put this in here, it should be good. For just one intersection point, they should still work out. So they can also be less than or equal to 1. I think this should work. Yes, awesome. Yeah, and now you see, we see a pretty cool thing going on here. You can see here stuff like this. We're gonna add some snapping as well later on. Yeah, so we're getting pretty close, because now it creates 6 rows instead of 7. So we need to create that very first row here. So because if you do like this, then it obviously works, right? But we are skipping one, and let's try to do like this perhaps, and then try to do like this. Oh, so there's always only the first one that's being missed. I think we can say this if statement. Yeah, let's just say, like, we're just basically canceling this if statement for a second, okay? Because what we can do here actually is redefine how this end node here is defined, and I think that's actually enough to fix our problem. And so we can say here, it says if I is equal to 0, otherwise this end node will not be changed. And I have a feeling that it does work. Absolutely awesome. Okay, so this was a lot of work, and I will take a break now. Thank you so much for participating today. This was hard work, but it was also a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody who was listening.